Alright, y'all. With Street Fighter 6 coming out, I kind of wanted to talk about how I got into playing fighting games competitively. Alright, so if you travel way back into 2009, a version of this game came out. It was just called Street Fighter 4. And I met a friend. If anybody has played Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, y'all know those are games that you pretty much play when you got friends over. Sometimes NBA Live, sometimes 2K. But the best part of the game, in my opinion, if you had a group of people, is a fighting game. That's why everybody that's going to have guests over and you have a gaming system, I think you should have at least one fighting game. It don't even have to be current. It doesn't need to be Street Fighter 6. It can be Mortal Kombat 2. Just a game where everybody can play it and take turns losing. And you want to be the guy winning. So I want to talk about why I started learning frame data. Alright. I went months, probably years, thinking frame data is not important because it's too hard to understand. I would just see the numbers, and honestly, I didn't grow up playing in an arcade, so I didn't honestly know what a forward is, a short. I didn't actually know what none of those gaming terminology. I didn't know what none of it meant. But I'm gonna show you what made me truly learn it. Okay, so Ryu, I'm actually gonna pick the color my friend used to just beat the brakes off me with. Alright, it's Ryu. He used to play Ryu, and at the time I played in Bison. Alright, so I'm gonna show you what.
Fists will fly at this location.
The announcer loves talking over people.
It's the battle of the century.
Okay, so anyway, I picked the wrong costume. But anyway, what Ryu's wearing is not important. Okay, so back in 2011, I used to play with my friend. His name was Dark Knight 99. And y'all probably know Leo Green. We used to play Dark Knight 99 and we could not beat him. And he played Ryu and he knew simple things like this. I hope that didn't look complicated because it's not. It's just mashing down forward punch. But that super on top of a fireball did way more damage than we could do by simply. That's the extent of our combos back in the day. But I'm going to show you what made me learn frame data. Joe was super. I call him Joe. Okay, his name is Joe Dark Knight 99. He was super oppressive on wake up pressure. Okay, and it's very simple, and I'm going to explain it. Joe would either, well, he didn't know much, but it was complicated. Tap you 3 times, throw you, or he cross you up. Okay, that was just the extent of what he knew. But that simple mix-up was a problem. But I'm finna show you what I learned about frame data when I had enough of my beatings. I said I have to take something from him. Okay, and of those things, I didn't see an opening in order to a way to take them from him. But what I did see is a lot of this. So this is I'm long-winded, but I'm gonna get into what made me learn frame data. That right there is a hard knockdown. If it hits you, not only does it do 90 damage, but it does mental damage. And I said I have to be able to stop this. So let me show you something. Every game has a training mode, and what I would do when I truly committed to learning how to beat him. Alright, I had to switch the characters around. Ryu need to be player 2, and I got Ryu in the right costume that Dark Knight 99 used to play in. So anyway, in a fighting game, you have what's called frame advantage and frame disadvantage. Alright, frame disadvantage is what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about actually punishing people. Okay, so when Ryu, there's certain moves in the game that are just negative on block, meaning all you have to do is block them and now it's your turn. And you know, as a casual player, I would have never thought to look at frame data and think that somebody of my level could find any use in it. But I'm here to tell you that everyone needs to know frame data. Alright, it's just necessary. So when Ryu does a sweep, it's -14 on block. Alright, So here it is. Does a sweep, and if I'm holding back to block, I can block, but before I can block, I have to recover from the sweep. And back in the day when and let me set it to playback. I'm gonna show you exactly what I used to do. I would see the sweep and I would block it, and I'd be so terrified of the dragon punch that I wouldn't hit a button. But I'm gonna show you why you can hit a button, and it's because of frame data. All right, so when he sweeps, you're out of range to do certain things because there's a such thing as pushback. But if you just try a different button, you could probably reach him. So crouching medium kick punishes it. Okay, so he sweeps, crouching medium kick. Okay, I would never push that because I would be so afraid of the dragon punch. So here's what I would believe what happened. And let me actually get rid of the super. That part doesn't matter, but let me get rid of the super. Okay, so let's give him some space. While you sweep, I messed up. Sweep, dragon punch. That's what I would be afraid of. I'd be afraid if I push the button, I'd get dragon punch. So watch this. When you know frame data and Ryu is -14 on block, this changed the landscape of me fighting people, whether it was ranked or people in person. Okay, I no longer had to fear what a character could do, but more so how the player was playing the character. So this is what I'm getting at. When Ryu sweeps you, you can still hit him. I didn't know that. Frame data. See that dragon punch? But did you see the gap? So this is what I learned after I finally let go of my fear of learning frame data. This is what changed the landscape of me playing. Okay. Do you see that? Ryu would be fishing for it. That's 90 damage. His sweep. But in the grand scheme of things, once I learned how to block and hit him back, it wasn't worth it, because you can see I'm not even doing like a correct punish, but I'm showing you that I could get guaranteed damage instead of him risking damage. Now that's not how it works, but you see, that was a mistake. But that would happen to me. And it's just an example, but none of this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do there. That's what I'm trying to do right there. Okay, so my point is being afraid of learning frame data is pointless, y'all. If you're gonna play a fighting game, which I think if you're gonna have guests over, you got Madden laying around, you got NBA Live laying around. Well, I don't know if they still make it, but NBA 2K laying around. And you got Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. If you got a room full of people, let's say 5 people, you could play Madden, but it's too long of a game for people waiting. So you got to have a good fighting game laying around. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because with Street Fighter 6 coming up, you can't be afraid to learn frame data. All right, it's necessary. It'll make you a better player, and it'll make you a more competent player, and it'll start molding how you actually think about video games. All right, and it's the same thing in every video game. I don't know how frame data will work in 2K or Madden, but there are just rules to a game that if you ignore them, like how in 2K how badges work, okay, how you can't do certain dribble moves if you don't have the badge setups to actually do them. So it's a kind of weak comparison, but you see what I'm saying? I'm saying that you basically have to learn how the game is played. You can't be afraid to truly dig in deep and go in depth in the game. And we'll talk more about frame data, as a matter of fact, with Street Fighter 6 having probably a year before it comes out. We'll get into more things that are probably terms that you've been afraid of. So like frame traps, tick throws, cross ups. We'll talk about them, but I just wanted to start with frame data since frame data is like one of the things that they're starting to put in the video game. You see, back in these days, back when I had Street Fighter 4, training mode didn't show frame data. All it showed is the damage. You know, if I did a combo, I could see that it did 185 damage. I could see my stun damage. So video games have come a long way. Lower frame data is typically in the fighting games. I think that started with Mortal Kombat 11. Well, at least that's the first game I played with frame data in it. So you can't be afraid of the tools that the games give you. So we're gonna talk more about it, but let's just video one on why I started getting into frame data.